This final comedian performs all over New York City. You may have seen him on the Maury Povich Show.
A man named Troy. Bruce, we got my man Troy Bond here. He's from Connecticut.
Defendant Troy Bond.
This guy on the Body Podcast. Our fun right now for Troy Bond, everybody!
What was The Revenant like for you? It's not that bad.
No, I got it. Oh, it was actually like quite a decision I made coming here. I was either going to take the 6 to Grand Central and then transfer, but transferring is always like, it's a whole thing.
No, you want it straight away.
I wanted to sit and just, so I picked the W, and it was like 35 minutes.
You never want to transfer.
No.
Goes for colleges or
Nothing.
MTA.
Yeah, all the things.
You want to do anything in life, do one thing for the rest of your life till you die.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a little Netflix.
Transferring is the whole thing.
Transferring is the whole thing. Where, you're from Maryland originally,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we didn't even talk about what wine we were drinking.
Who I am.
This is, I was going to get to that with the wine introduction. I was going to introduce my guest,
Mm-hmm.
Cole World, Torey Cole, Coleslaw.
That's coleslaw is what I go by.
Do you go by coleslaw? Coleslaw gets a lot of universal hate that it doesn't deserve.
Well, people hate mayonnaise, which I think is wrong. That's a them problem.
I thought they said they hate me too. They're like, they hate me, and that's a giant problem.
No.
Mayonnaise. People hate mayonnaise?
It's
Yeah, well, that's
polarizing.
justified. Do you know what mayonnaise is made of?
Eggs and
Yeah.
vinegar. But people eat that
Is
all
that
the
it?
time. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was something disgusting.
I think that's it.
I thought it was just something disgusting, and I kept eating it. It's testament to I didn't even look at
I
what
love
it was.
mayonnaise.
Me too.
I'll say it.
Mayonnaise is
I'm proud to say that.
it's essential. How do you have
Aioli.
a sandwich? Aioli?
Aioli is like fancy mayo.
Aioli.
You've heard of aioli.
I've heard of it, but I didn't know it was fancy mayonnaise. My palate doesn't go beyond Miracle Whip.
Aioli is mayonnaise, but they add like, garlic and
Oh, this is
shit like that.
mayonnaise.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mayonnaise.
People, yeah.
Well, you know what goes great with mayonnaise?
Wine.
Red wine. And I picked out this bottle because it reminded me of you. Because
So
you're
nice.
fit. It's Fit Vine.
So nice of you.
For
I like that you think I'm fit because you've only ever seen me like at a comedy club and like drinking.
right. I mean, that's
like, what leads you to think that I am fit?
compared to the other people I've seen drinking at comedy clubs. You mean? That's
So,
a
got
face
it.
in the crowd.
I like to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I thought this person on the bottle, because of that, reminded me of you. Because you see, like, it's got like a.
It's like running with the microphone.
It's running with with a glass of wine and grapes. So that's why I say Fit Vine for second wives and the working mom with a DUI. Fit
you
Vine.
looking for
But you are a separate category, you know?
Are you looking for a partner?
I'm trying to make some paper on
You're
this
using
podcast.
me for a way to make a brand
That's what this
partnership.
whole setup was.
I knew it.
It was, yeah.
I
I'm
knew
trying
it.
to get an endorsement deal from
I mean, honestly, I like to say that like I look like I work out, but I also look like an alcoholic, and I think that that's my
Well, that's a
my vibe.
market that needs to be tapped into too.
Yeah,
A drink
yeah.
for the functioning alcoholic.
Well,
That's what White Claw basically is, though.
for
Drink
me,
40 of these and you'll still be able to pick your kids up from church.
That's good. From church?
Yeah.
Why church?
Because he's so deep in his alcoholism by this point that he's dropping the kids off at church,
Okay.
picking up a 12-pack of White Claw, and by the time they get
Okay.
to John 3:16, he's had 3:16 packs of White Claws.
That makes sense.
In the name of
I
the Father,
personally,
the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I see my problem as like a feedback loop, a positive feedback loop. Like you drink, so you feel bad about yourself, so you work out, so that you drink, and then
The endorphins.
I drink to keep working out because I have to. But then I
Drink to keep working out.
yeah.
Not keep working out so you can keep drinking.
But that's what keeps it going.
That's what. So you work out to drink, and so I see what you're saying. That's really though. Isn't that where like kombucha became a thing?
For people that are not trying to be alcoholics.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. That's an untapped market. What about for people who want to continue to be alcoholics but also be in really good shape? I.e.,
They have hard. I see.
Fit Vine.
Got it.
Or something else. I don't know. I don't know if I feel any healthier drinking this. I feel like I'm drinking any of the red wine. I don't feel healthy.
Yeah, it's all alcohol.
It's all alcohol.
Maybe what's your longest sobriety streak?
In like 2018, I went 3 weeks without drinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
I was doing dry February with this person I was dating, and then I decided to break the drive February before I went to go pick her up from a play. I drank a whole bottle of wine by myself on like 28th and 7th, just like standing on the corner on the street, listening to a podcast, drinking wine. Then we broke up that night, but I don't think one has to do with the other. But I'm glad that I put some gas.
Who? Did you drink?
She broke up with me.
Whoa.
We got home. She just stopped talking. We got into a fight. I got her a card that night.
Is she sober still?
Yeah, but she wasn't a big drinker. But that's the thing. Like I drank a lot when I was younger. I don't drink as much anymore, but I do drink. The only thing I really drink is wine.
You drink less now.
Way less
you did
now
as like a 12-year-old?
than I did as a 12-year-old.
That
Yeah,
tracks.
yeah. That's
Your brain is like trying to like build itself back.
it was. Yeah,
you
no.
gotta give it a fighting chance.
And that's why my room is surrounded in Star Wars shit.
You're making up for lost time.
Yeah, this is.
Or maybe like you froze your brain in time.
That's what I did. My dream catcher is my inner child.
It's
trying
like
to be
fetal
healed.
alcohol syndrome, but now.
Yeah, fetal. Yeah, could you get? Can it be like late onset fetal alcohol syndrome?
I
like
think
it just
if you
clicks
start
one day?
at 12, yeah.
Yeah, at brunch, everyone's ordering mimosas,
Yeah.
and you get triggered like a sleeper agent.
Yeah.
You say, "Grey Goose, Sunny D," and then all of a sudden you're throwing salad in your best friend's face.
I mean, I've had some brunches.
I've never been to brunch, so I don't know.
Really?
I've never been to
It's
brunch.
a lie. You're lying to my face right now.
I've never been to brunch, but the other
You've never
day
been to brunch?
I've never been to brunch, but the other day was my grandfather's funeral, and I drank a whole handle of vodka and orange
when you
juice
say
before.
handle, like how, what size handle?
A handle's the wrong thing. A pint.
Okay, I
drank a pint of
You
vodka.
shouldn't be sitting here right now if you did that.
I know. Well, I mean, I could throw them down.
Oh, you could do a handle?
I could definitely do a handle.
Okay.
Back in my younger days, when I was a whippersnapper,
Got it.
I was doing handles at Georgie.
When you gave yourself fetal alcohol syndrome.
Gave it to
right?
myself.
Yeah.
For an
That was-
experiment.
got it.
Yeah.
I've done that to myself. I'm no judgment. I mean, we could go tit for tat on vodka stories.
When did you start drinking? I was like probably. I was like
remember
17.
the first time I drank.
When was the first time you drank?
I'll never forget it. It was for a school dance when I was a freshman, and I remember it like so vividly, which is weird. Like we it was like at my friend's house in her bedroom, and we were like gonna go to the dance, and like school dances need to be addressed. Like they are bizarre. Let's just call it what it is. They're weird.
Yeah, it's school
weird.
dance. Yeah,
School dances are weird. I feel bad for kids that have to go through it. Like you put a bunch of like teens in a room, and you're like interact in the most bizarre sexual way possible, and then have the weirdest teachers all stand around and watch.
Yeah, and
You know?
the age I was, we were listening to like Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Which is not the best,
Yeah.
person you want to be grinding next to when
And then,
you're
like,
coming of age.
What's like the To the Wall song? You know, what's that? Who's
The
singing
Wall
that?
song? Wait, which one?
From the window.
Oh yeah, the window to
The wall.
the
Yeah.
walls.
What song? Who is that? That was at every single school dance of mine.
I was gonna say Little John, but why can't I?
But I'm
think
picturing
of who
I'm
it
picturing
is?
that song playing in a bunch of like literal 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And
No.
that is a really disturbing thing.
What's more disturbing about it is there's a bunch of adults watching it
Right.
very closely.
Very closely. And I think, what if, I feel like they probably enjoyed it in a weird way.
Yeah, didn't you ever have like the gym teacher that was really friendly with the popular girls?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being a teacher is like an excuse to
I hate-
get away with a pedophile.
No, I actually think all of my like coaches growing
For
up,
some.
I think they were all like, they all had like a vendetta against me or like my friend. I don't know. I've
Your
never
coaches?
Had, yeah, like
What
I played
sports did you
lacrosse
play?
and
'Cause-
field hockey.
Field really?
Mm-hmm.
I would not have expected that. Have
Yeah.
we talked about this?
No.
I would not have guessed field hockey.
Well, I did
That's-
lacrosse more so, but
lacrosse is 100% what I would
Yeah.
accept
But field
being
hockey was my favorite because there was no politics around field hockey. It was just like no one gave a fuck
no
about
field, no politics.
no politics.
just
They were
field.
like, we don't care about the sport in this town, so like do your thing, have fun. But with lacrosse, it was like, what club team do you play for? Like, who do you know? Like, do you like what coaches have you been talking to for college? It was just this whole thing. But with field hockey, it was like we don't care.
Yeah, there's
if
no
you-
politics with lesbians.
Right, exactly. They don't care. They're like, they turn, they're like, we don't know what you're doing. But so it was fun for me. Like field hockey for me was like a special time because it like was all about what you cared about and if you were good. And then lacrosse was just like, I didn't take it seriously like lacrosse. And so I kind of got like batted down for that because I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget, I played club as well, and that was like traveling team, and it was like,
What's club?
Club is like, so you have your high school team, and then you have your club team, which is
like varsity.
Yeah, like if you take or like you try, it's like a additional, like you have your practice like twice a week, plus you travel all over for lacrosse during the summer. You have like a tournament a weekend in like Jersey, New York, whatever.
So you're playing for both teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
Essentially.
And
that was really, they took that really seriously, and it was all about getting recruited for college. Like that's the reason you did club.
It's for lacrosse.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's for college.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a lot of parents were like, we can't afford college, so they would like really put the pressure on their kids. But for me, my parents were like, good luck with whatever the fuck happens. Like, we don't really like
go to the club. Go not to the club. Who gives a shit? Just go to
so
college.
I kind of just floated through this club thing, like whatever, and like I was good, but not great. And so I didn't really like take it seriously. And I'll never forget one time they had all the girls stand in a circle. It was like 50 girls because it was 2 teams that were in my age group.
And what age is this? This is like what, sophomore year?
Yeah, so I was a junior.
Right.
And they're going around, and all the girls are saying the 3 schools that are recruiting them. So it gets to this one girl like Duke, UNC, blah blah blah. Next girl, like Fairfield. And they're just racking off, and it gets to me, and I'm like, this is insane. I cannot believe they're having us do this. So I go, Anne Arundel Community College is what I say, because I'm like, this is so.
After they all mention universities,
yeah, all
you
of them
said
are talking about D1
college.
programs,
right?
And like about 30 girls say their 3 top schools, all D1. It gets to me in the circle, and I just go, Anne Arundel Community College, which is like the local community college, thinking it was like the funniest joke of all time. Thinking I'd get like this booming laugh. And then I would rack off like 2 schools that like maybe looked at me one time. And no one even like, they all just like look at each other like horrified. And I'm just like,
playing with a peasant.
And I was like, I don't know why I did that. And then I just kind of like, that was that.
And was that
was
the thing? That was the experience that made you be like, I think I want to do stand-up comedy now.
Yeah, that was that moment. Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
Comedy?
Yeah.
My friend. What's
your origin story? What's your Joker story?
It's really basic. My friend asked me to be her maid of honor, and this is annoying. I really wanted to get like, it was like the era of like all the YouTube videos where the maid of honors were like giving like the fucking duo dance, and like it was like viral, and I was like, I want to give the best maid of honor speech of all time. And I also was really scared of public speaking. Like I had to do it for work, but like I would like drink before meetings and stuff. I'm not kidding. Like I'd be on the road, and I would do
that too, but not because I was scared of public speaking. I would just do it to stop.
It made
the
it
shakes.
Yeah, well, I actually, I mean, I've turned to alcohol for a lot of things, but this was one of them. And anyways, for work I would drink
fit wine for when you turn to alcohol for a lot of things, and the kids won't shut up about it. Fit wine.
Cheers.
You heard it here first. Put it in a Coke can, and no one will know the difference. Fit wine. It's only a problem if you tell other people about it.
I had a friend that was an alcoholic.
I'm going to get a cease and desist letter.
She would mix Coke with red wine, and I've always wanted to try that combo. That sounds really good.
When I was working in a restaurant when I was in high school, I'd mix red wine with Sprite.
Ew.
Why would you think Coke and red wine is superior?
That's like a Shirley Temple. I'll take it back. I take it back.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to
Coke and red wine is disgusting. That's like blowing up the Death Star from the inside.
No, it's like Dr. Pepper, I think, is how that would turn out.
Ugh.
Ugh.
There shouldn't be Coke.
I think it sounds really good.
I don't even like sparkling
I think if
wine.
I did that combo, then I would be an alcoholic, and I'm still trying to like dodge that.
If you did what combo? The Coke and red wine, or red wine in an empty Coke can?
I've done things like that.
Me too.
But I think the Coke would add something to it. It'd be like a nice pop.
I don't feel like Coke. I don't even. I aged out of rum and Cokes because of the sugar.
Yeah.
It's just too sweet.
I don't know. I'm kind of gross when it comes to like everything. Like I'll drink like 8 Celsius. I
was gonna get you a Celsius and bring it with you because I know how much you love Celsius.
I mean, if I was drinking on it, I would turn into like a psycho.
I know.
Actually, you're gonna love this. So in college, my freshman year was really tough because I went from Maryland to Boulder and I didn't know anybody. It's like I went from like thinking I thought I was so cool in high school, and then I went out to Colorado and like everyone was like, we don't give a fuck.
The main character syndrome just
boom, just smeared into the ground.
Yeah.
Like Like I went from being like I got out there and I was like, yeah, I play lacrosse, and they're like, we don't care, like we do shrooms, like fuck you.
That's a response to anybody who plays lacrosse. We don't care. We do shrooms. Lacrosse is like Little Caesars, though. It's not everywhere, you know? Lacrosse teams aren't. Even like I grew up in Connecticut.
Little
You would
Caesars?
think, yeah, Little Caesars isn't everywhere. Lacrosse isn't everywhere. Like not every school has a lacrosse team.
It's getting really popular.
It's getting with the kids. That's what they're doing now. They're smoking their K2 with their
Should
fentanyl,
I,
and they're playing.
finish my how I started comedy story?
Yes, please. I just wanted this is a PSA about all these kids who are getting hopped up on opioids and playing lacrosse.
I'm doing this for you because editing this would be a bitch if we kept going on these tangents.
Oh, you think there's a editing process at this
No,
podcast?
we're not editing this?
This
Okay.
is what we in comedy call a stream of consciousness,
Okay,
baby.
got it.
Yeah, Joe Rogan who is what I say.
That's fair. I don't
Thank
know who
you.
that is.
I don't either. What do you host? Some show Fear Factor?
No, not even.
Not even. I'm not afraid. I would love to be a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast.
But you will be one day.
We'd have so much to talk
Put it in
about.
it's in the universe.
I don't know.
I
I
can
just
see that for
accepted
you.
an invite to be on Neil Young's podcast, so now I don't think I can be on Joe Rogan's.
Neil Young. I know who that. He's like the
He's
Steve
the-
Glasses. Did I make
the,
that up?
He's the musician. Keep on rocking in the free world. He took all his music off Spotify because they said Joe
Like
Rogan
Taylor
was spreading
Swift?
COVID misinformation.
Well, he's an anti-vaxxer, isn't he?
I don't know.
I think he is.
Yeah, maybe. The interesting thing about anti-vaxxers is like I studied them for a year. We'll get back to the. Hold on. Let's do one topic at a time because I was gonna go into this whole rant about Jenny McCarthy, because she's a judge on The Masked Singer. You know that show, Masked Singer.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
I think that show is ridiculous.
well, you know what got leaked was Rudy Giuliani was this week's contestant that got eliminated, and Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke walked off the stage in protest, and Jenny McCarthy stayed and talked with him because like she's a big Republican.
But she's got to be vaccinated to be on that show. I would assume.
But here's the thing. She was so anti-vax for so long and was like the face of being anti-vax
Really?
and wrote books about being anti-vax.
How
and
do
then
you write
recently,
a book in it? I guess it's 2 years
because her
span.
son, I always wonder what the kid, because she was like, I know vaccines cause autism because we got my son vaccinated and now he's autistic.
kidding.
I'm not bullshitting. That's where most anti-vaxxers come from. But pre-COVID, that was OG anti-vaxxer, where they said vaccines cause autism. Jenny McCarthy did it. It breaks my heart to say Robert De Niro feels the same way. There's so many people who think that vaccines cause autism, where there's a double-edged sword to that, which first of all, no, they don't. There's so much information about it. And the guy who started that theory about vaccines causing
This is
autism.
becoming a PSA for get your vaccine.
No, I'm not going to tell
Get
people
your
to get it.
boosters!
I will never tell people to get their vax or not. Like I've said, like I got mine because the thing is I know vaccines don't stop you from getting sick. It stops you from dying. That's enough for me to get it. If you're somebody who
Probably
says
gonna die.
not dying is enough for me to get the vax, I'm cool. If you say, well, what? Maybe I will die. I won't die if I won't get it. Cool. If you want to play with your life like that, have fun. I'm a super spreader as a stand-up comic. And I love to tongue grandmothers after my shows. And the problem with
Just lick the mic.
all the time, I swap them out. We've swapped these 3 times after tonguing them. But the problem with these anti-vaxxers, and then we'll get back to your comedy origin story.
Also, we're matching.
We're matching. Oh yeah. Look at this. We got our whites. Yeah.
and our
I bought
jeans.
12 pairs of
You
shoes.
told me that.
Yeah.
Brian Kim, you hit it hard at Old Navy.
Hit it hard at Old Navy.
Hard.
Got 12 of these for $30.
I know we talked about it a lot, but I don't remember all of it. But that was one thing
No,
that
that
came
was-
through my memory.
That was what I wanted you to take away from that. That was the flex.
Everything that we talked about, I think that's all I remembered was the Old Navy buys.
Yeah, it's Old Navy, and if there's
Brian
anything
Kim
to take
hit up
away
Old
from
Navy
this
together.
podcast,
It's tender.
yeah, well, it's that I support Old Navy and not Jenny McCarthy
Right.
overall. I like a white shoe. See, you're a risk taker like me. You wear white shoes in terrible weather.
Yeah,
Those are
it's
weathered
warm out.
white.
It's warm out, so I was like, you know
yeah,
what?
but there's snow on the ground that's melting and stuff. You know.
It felt weird when I was stepping over and I looked at my feet and I was like, this looks weird from an optical standpoint, seeing snow in my bare ankles and my
Right.
like summer shoes. But I was like, but it's warm, so
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
uncanny valley foot action happened.
Yeah. I was doing like the Winter New York Olympics is what you call it when you jump over the puddles and stuff.
That is what they call it.
That's what they call it, New York Olympics.
We have to get you a pair of Tims. That
Yeah.
was today's magic word.
Tim's had their moment. I had him in college.
What do you mean had their moment? I feel like that's still the go-to.
Tim's?
Yeah.
They were really cool when I was like a junior, senior, and then they were like not.
What do you mean?
What are they making out there? I like hearing like the spoon.
Yeah, it's
the triple tab is like they're being serious.
Well, look, whenever you got to do the practice clinks too. You know, when you got the tongs, you got to do the practice clinks
before you do anything.
Otherwise, everything falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
So comedy.
So how I got started.
You got started in that after.
I just like this. Anyways.
It's okay. It's clean. These are actually brand new mics.
Yeah, they look fresh.
Yeah, they still got that new mic smell. You could smell it if you want to.
Reference.
Yeah, you smell it. And you can just hold it. You can just look at it.
Anyways, how I got started in stand-up.
Yes, and you know what's a great way to start a podcast? Fit wine. Fit wine, the conversation starter for any conversation that needs to be started. Sponsored by BetterHelp.
A good ad actually would be like you doing squats while drinking this.
You would do squats while drinking fit wine?
Mm-hmm. Maybe at the end we just get me doing some squats with the fit wine.
That's how we're going to promote this.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. So, comedy. Your best friend is getting married. You are going to give the best maid of honor speech.
Asked me to be her maid of honor. And I wanted to give a good maid of honor speech because I had seen all of the viral videos of like people killing it with their dances and shit. And I was like, I want to just knock it out of the park. And also, like, I wasn't good at public speaking, so I wanted to like brush up my skills.
Dancing in public coordinated is really corny too.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do a coordinated dance.
Yeah.
So I had a, wordsmith. I was like, I'm going to get him with my words. That's how I'm going to do this.
What did you go to college for?
Journalism.
Wordsmith right there, Lois Lane.
Advertising.
Yeah, right.
So I took the class at the Comedy Cellar with Rick Crom.
My boy.
Great guy.
My Obi-Wan. I love Rick.
And my last showcase went well. I put it on Reddit, like Reddit stand-up, thinking like I would get just like humbled immediately because my friend put hers on there. Reddit to me is like a foreign land, so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna put this here. And it like made it to the top of the page. People are commenting like really nice things, like a lot of comments.
So nice.
I was really blown away by the internet. I was like, I didn't know the internet was such a nice place. And then I got this like big head about it. I was like, wow, I guess I'm good at this. So I started doing bringer shows, and then it just kind of became this like obsession, and I was just fully into it. And then the pandemic hit, and then I stopped doing it. And then I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. So I lost my mind, as I've mentioned. Like I bought the car, I drove to Colorado.
The Jeep Wrangler.
I bought the Jeep Wrangler. Drove to Colorado, was in California, drove to Florida, drove to Maryland, and then Rich finally texted me and was like, hey, like, join your spot you got from
the industry room.
Right. And I was like, oh my God, I would love that. And then I decided to move back to New York, all because of my spot.
Do you feel grounded?
Yeah, I feel like I it sounds so dramatic, but I feel like I like have my life purpose, and I love New York is my favorite city on like all of the world. And comedy is truly my passion. So I'm like, oh, like I do really like for a year during the pandemic, I just felt completely insane, like completely lost, completely insane. Again, like I bought an orange Jeep Wrangler.
Is it orange?
It's orange. It is orange.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's orange. And I drove to Colorado. I drove across the country and back.
Nick.
It's honestly when I look at
meltdown.
it, I'm like, every time I see it, I like smile because I'm like, I can't believe this is mine, and I lost my mind that hard. It's really a phase. I mean, I have to sell it because I can't afford it, but it cracks me up to this day. It's like my orange Jeep phase. But anyways, we
all go through those, the orange Jeep phases, you know.
But yeah. Then that's how I found stand-up is through my friend, and then it just kind of happened. Like I'll have people be like, "You don't seem like a comic." Like they're like, they mean it in like a nice way. They're like, "I'm like, what do you mean?" They're like, "You don't seem unhinged," but I'm like, "Well, you just don't know me that well, I guess." But they like,
how are you supposed to walk around? Look at me, Batman.
I don't know. They're
why
like,
did the chicken cross the road? It's to drink minimum to find out.
I think that's what they expect.
I never know what that means. People tell me all the time. It drives me up the wall. But like, and this is gonna sound like a backhanded compliment to myself, but it's not. People say to me all the time, "You're too good looking for stand up." All the time, I hear that.
It's a flex.
It
is
sounds
flexing.
nice, but I hate it more than anything else. I hate hearing that.
Yeah.
Because I don't go on stage and use my looks for my punchlines. It's not.
You're just
It's
so
not my booty.
funny.
It's my beauty.
It's just yeah.
It's an added plus. Don't get
Added
me wrong. I
plus.
probably get away with saying more things than I would if.
Do you
I
wish
don't
you were
even go out of my
uglier?
way to say I'm good looking either because I
Do you
don't
wish you were
think I
not
am.
attractive? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
I'm not taking that card away. I'm grateful for the genes that I have. But it bothers me when people say that to me because I'm like, well, what am I supposed to say to that? Okay, let me just drop everything and start modeling.
You could.
I've done some
Acting
modeling.
is like a collaboration of like what you're doing with stand up and your face.
Yeah, and I'm doing that too. But
yeah,
like,
exactly.
for the I mean, it's.
Did
and
you,
maybe
just
it's
wanna,
because-
did you just want to take a minute to talk about how good looking you are? Is that
No, that's
Let's
not.
all take a pregnant pause.
No, because like I remember, we were upstairs at a show one day, and I heard a guy come up to you and
To
say
me.
something to you where he said like, "By the way, you are super hot."
Oh yeah,
Do you
he
remember
was a
that?
crazy old man.
I know, but like that. I mean, I've seen it happen. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel.
It was my joke. I think that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't unprompted. I didn't take
No,
it.
it is. That's still an unprompted thing to
He-
say.
he
And I
was
know the joke.
Feeling his fake octane wine. Don't cut that out. And then I think he came to me. I think he was trying to be funny, and he was like, "You are hot," because my joke is like, "Wow, my pronouns are she's hot." Blah. So I think he was.
And then the
taking
police
my
came
joke.
and picked him up.
Yeah, and they shot him.
They shot him. Yeah, he was.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. No, I mean.
he said the way he said it was he goes, "You are hot and funny," as if those are two things that cannot go together, and that's the point that you're making, right?
Well,
Or no?
you're the
I was
one
trying to tie a
calling
bow
me.
on your shit.
You're the one calling me a hot genius. So.
Right? No, that's me just trying to put wind in your sails because God, I can
Put wind
tell.
in my sails.
Yeah.
Who
never heard
are
that
you?
You never heard that saying?
No. Put wind in my sails. I'm gonna use that one. I love that. See, what are you doing here? You're gonna put wind in my sails, huh? What are you gonna do? Add a band to this watch? Well, I'll tell you what time it is, kid. The big hand's turning little, and we're getting to
It's
an
a
hour
saying.
where these.
It's a saying. Don't make me seem crazy like I just made something up.
Don't put words in my mouth, kid. I'll call the Colgate doctor.
Don't put wind in my sails.
Don't put wind in my sails, kid. I'll blow right past the bow. Now turn me over the stern if you want to make this port side. You hear what I'm saying, kid?
Look at you.
You want to catch a couple of fish, you got to use some bait. I know a little bit about
Starboard
boats.
is what? Left or right?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I know it's one of them, though.
It is. One's
It's-
green, one's
you know
red.
One's what?
There's like one green, one red one.
Really?
Mm-hmm,
I
it's a whole
didn't know
thing.
that.
Red, right, return is a saying when you're on a boat.
I knew my left and rights at a very early age, and then when I did drama
I still
club,
don't know mine.
that can't be true.
I'm really
Really?
dyslexic. No, I'm like severely dyslexic. Like that becomes like a thing
You
when
don't do this?
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that, but like when people even ask me for the bathroom at Broadway, I'm like, you go down the stairs and
Oh well, that's
just go down the
tricky.
stairs.
Yeah,
no, but
yeah,
I'm like I'm just not quick on my feet with lefts and rights,
Right.
Because it's in my head that I'm bad at them. So
Right.
I've like it's like my story that I've told myself, and like I just fuck it up all the time.
That's interesting because I just
I'm
read
always
this
doing this.
book. And
Apparently,
I
it's
just
like
read it.
super creative people are dyslexic, so I lean into it. But like,
Yeah.
I
Well, Van
also,
Gogh
like-
meant to cut off his other ear.
really,
You know, I don't know. That was-
that's a good joke.
yeah, I don't.
It's funny. You should tell a
Thank you.
dyslexic Van Gogh joke.
That's what I'm gonna do next time someone tells me they have dyslexia.
Just be
I'm
like,
like,
well,
you know, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna break in.
Hey, Ray
You
Romano
know?
came to me and said, the other year was the one I was supposed to go, but his wife, that's why he cut it off. Selective hearing. You could narrow it down when you cut off one of your lobes, but they didn't tell him the ear, what's inside, you hear inside. I wouldn't, if I knew that, I would have had 2 ears. Now I can't wear a pair of sunglasses, all because I didn't understand the anatomy of the human head. Not everybody loves Van Goghman.
You want to keep
Raymond
going? You should keep going.
Raymond Ramongo. I got it. I got there. It took me a second. Trial and error.
Do you need some more fit vine? That was like 4 glasses.
I think that's average for a bottle of wine.
I'm just used to drinking bottles that make the shake stop.
Are
It's
you
the second
okay?
time I said that. It's
Are
a
you
joke.
shaking?
I promise it's a joke. No, I never really got alcohol shakes.
If I drink aggressive amounts like at 4 a.m., I'll be like,
Right. Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah. The alcohol. No, I never as withdrawal. I felt a lot of withdrawal with blow, but you feel that when you're coming down and you have a massive serotonin drop. I do. I took them off right before you got here because they got tangled in my hoodie, and I had a fit with myself, and I was very mad. But I still wear the beads. I have a couple pairs.
You had a fit?
I had a fit.
Have you seen?
I don't wear the bracelet anymore because it's been flying off a lot in the middle of my set. Yeah.
That's kind of fun, though.
It is fun, but I'm running out of jokes for it.
What was the last joke you told when it fell off?
The guy caught it. I said, "Thank you, sir, and thank you for your service on January 6th."
What does that even mean?
The Capitol storming.
What, did he look like a...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I said it. He was
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But then there's also been times where it's slid off my wrist and
You hit some girl in the face?
No, but I am fucking terrified of that. That's a real possibility.
She would love it.
Who? She would?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fun story. If it hits her in the face, I hope she's wearing glasses. Anywhere on the face, I'm okay with. If not, as long as it's not the eyes. I feel like eye stuff could be really serious.
Your human reaction to close your eyes is quick.
I don't know. I've had there's 3 or 4 women I know personally that can tell you that's not true.
Then that's a flaw on her.
Yeah.
That's like a Darwinism thing. She deserves to get hit in the eye.
Yeah.
I've been hit in the face.
Right. You have or haven't?
I have.
You've been hit in the face?
Mm-hmm.
By who?
This is layer 2 of the joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Took me a second.
And I did close my eyes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't fun.
Getting hit in the face? You didn't have a good time?
Not a good time.
Didn't fill you with joy?
It
Wasn't
was not
jolly?
exciting. I was in high school, so it was also
Who hit you in the face?
Never mind. This is the ejaculation part of the joke.
I know. I kept trying to... I keep tossing it up to you.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if you thought I was really being punched or if
I'm just
was hit in the face.
I'm just too good looking as an actor and a comedian, and people don't understand.
It was my high school boyfriend.
Your high school boyfriend came in your eye.
In my eyes.
And there we go.
And I remember running away, being like, ah!
This is why I started a podcast. So natural good banter like this can just come up organically.
I remember it so vividly, though, because he laughed. I remember he laughed.
He laughed?
Yeah.
Who? And then what happened? Did he flee the crime scene?
No, I got up because I was visibly upset. Because it's just my whole face.
You were visibly upset.
Because I also was
everyone except
15
yourself.
years old. At that age.
Yeah, and this guy is your math teacher.
He exactly. Football coach, but
lacrosse coach.
But it was
From
a moment
club.
it was I knew it's that's a moment where you say, hey, I'm gonna come, and it's he should know that's gonna happen. But it felt like it was this on purpose moment, and I remember just being like, why my face? And I went to the bathroom. I remember wiping it off my face, and I was like, he was really laughing. And that was that. I mean, it was a bad relationship. So.
Well, look, you could be a responsible gun owner, but going to the shooting range is on you.
That's fair. Yeah, he wasn't a great guy, so that's the end of that story.
Not a great aim. Not a great guy. That's
Unless he
my
did
mom
that
always
on purpose. I don't know.
Well, that could have been a thing, too. Yes, the mystery remains.
Yeah, good times. Good times. 15-year-old Torey went through it. She went through it hard.
Yeah, it felt like she went through an assault.
That's why I am who I am.
That's whose catchphrase that is? Popeye. I am what I am. And Popeye
switched it up, though.
compulsively...
That's why I am who I am.
Why you are what you are. I was just going to connect it to Popeye is obsessed with spinach in his health. And I think the reason why that is because someone came in his eye.
Oh, yeah?
And that's why they call him Popeye. Someone popped off into his eye and he went... And now... He compulsively eats spinach and works out because he doesn't want that to happen again. He doesn't want to be taken by surprise. He doesn't want to be Pearl Harbored.
You just changed the Popeye name.
I did, and now I'm going to get sued by Fit Wine and Popeye.
And then
the Robin Williams.
Louisiana chicken might get pulled into this.
Love that chicken for Popeye.
You ruined the name Popeye for me.
On the bone, baby. That's my real goal. The last podcast we were talking about watching the Johnny Bravo Christmas special. This one we're talking about Popeye getting
jizz in his eyes.
Jizz. Who says jizz anymore? Were you 12?
I said it. What would you say?
That's a good question.
What
There's
else
no
would
good
you-
word. If you have to say come and talk past it, or say nothing, you have to be like, yeah, and then he came on my face. You can't be like, then he came on my face. You have to say, like, then he came on my face. I remember when I first moved to New York, I heard my cousin talking to her roommate, and she was like, well, like, did he bust in you? And, like, that was a new one. Verb or adjective.
Yeah.
But jizz feels like I'm saying
How many
that to
words
my
are
friend
there
son.
for it? Jizz, bust, cum.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast. It's going to be bonding with
We
Troy
leaking into your
Cum.
OnlyFans?
Yeah. No, there's
No,
a few different words.
I was curious. There's so many words.
Well, the funny thing about different words for cum is there's a line in one of the newer Star Wars movies where...
Please tie this to fucking
No, I'm going
Star
to.
Wars.
I can.
That's why I'm...
There's a line
Floor
in one
is
of the newer
yours.
Star Wars movies where one of the bad guys is looking at one of the good guys, and he sees how powerful she is with the Force, and he goes, such spunk.
Oh, I
apparently
forgot that was a word
spunk
too. Yeah. mhm.
Means come in
Yeah.
England. So when they were watching
heard
this
that.
in England, they were like, what?
That's good.
Tied it back. Didn't say it was going to be funny, but you challenged me on it, and I had to stick with it. I was going to segue in a whole other topic.
Spunk is another word.
Spunk is another word for cum.
Also, did you know bummer means butt sex in Australia?
Australia has a lot of names for things that shouldn't be named.
Well, because I
that.
say that's a bummer all the time, but then
It
they're
means
like,
butt
oh.
sex. Bummer.
Mhm.
It seems like something Australian
But
people
also
would
that
say.
kind of works when you
What
say
was it
bummer.
like when
Oh,
Steve
bummer,
Irwin
like,
died? That's a bummer.
Bummer. It also it seems like a pseudonym. Synonym?
Bummer.
Pseudonym?
Yeah.
Pseudonym and synonym, those are different words.
And cinnamon is a whole other one.
Pseudonym. What is a pseudonym?
I don't remember. Now you keep saying it, and every time you say it, it's going out of my brain. I had a clear definition of what pseudonym is.
I went to private school.
Pseudonym, I think, is like a... Is that the same as euphemism? Let's Google it right now, because we can't be looking like dummies on this podcast, Torey. We can't do it. Not while there's a bookshelf behind you in the backdrop.
Pseudonym and synonym are they the same?
Okay, wait, hold on. Yes.
Pseudonym.
Pseudonym. Hold on. Let's
I
find
like
out
that.
what
If there was a gun to your head and someone said, "What's a pseudonym?" you wouldn't know.
Then get my affairs in order. Even when I wrote in pseudonym on Google, it said it looks like there aren't many great matches for your search. Pseudonym, a fictitious name, especially one used by an author. Right. A fake name. A pseudonym. A pseudo-name. It's a pseudo-name, Jerry. Pseudonym.
All right, so synonym. And
That's a pretentious word, and I don't like it. Just stick with
synonym
what's wrong
and
with pen
pseudonym
name.
are different.
Pseudonym and what? Synonym means same. It's like, you know.
Yeah, right. Synonym and
Yeah,
pseudonym.
frost is a synonym for...
I used to ask a question.
Thank you so much, because I couldn't think of a synonym.
Yeah, I was going to cut you
frost.
off. I used to ask a question that really made my brain like explode, but I'm blanking on what the question was. It was like the difference between whatever. It'll come to me. It was the difference between perspective and something else. Never mind. It really would like the earth would shake when I would ask people this.
I was a little scared to pursue the question, because I didn't know if
I know
this podcast could handle it. We are giving it to them for free.
perspective first. Whatever, it'll come to me. Actually, here's a fun question. I always ask people this.
Ask me this question.
I like to ask this on dates because whatever. I won't say more because here you go. Ready? If you were a brand, what brand would you be? Like, because like, what brand aligns with like your core values? But it's like mainstream. Like, if you were to attach it, like, that's the question.
What do
if
you
you were
mean
a
by
brand, what brand would you be?
That's a big umbrella.
I know. Well, brand. It's like what brand aligns like to your core values and like speaks to who you are as a person. Like if you had to be like, oh, I'm like this because of X, Y.
Well, what would your brand be?
I can't tell you mine because I asked you.
I'm asking you. You have to give me that courtesy. I'm a virgin to this game.
I know you are, but that's the whole fun part of the question, is to watch a virgin answer it. It's your own experience.
So I'm looking for a brand that aligns with my core values.
Mm-hmm.
A brand whose slogan I could live by.
Mm-hmm.
Is this brand a product? Is this it's anything?
Any brand in the world.
I'd say if I could be any brand, it would probably be Napoli mozzarella cheese. Napoli specifically.
Okay,
because
why?
it's thick.
Mm-hmm.
It can take on many different forms. You could shred it. You could melt it. You could boil it. You could sprinkle it onto just about anything.
Wow. Gets with everything. I got it.
Gets with everything. It's a cheese that knows how to get around.
Mm-hmm.
It's a well-traveled cheese.
It doesn't mix with like Asian or Mexican foods though. It's pretty Italian, not to like fucking.
Why did you have to go there?
Sorry.
Why did you?
Well, I like to think of avocado getting with all of the food groups. You know, avocado is like in like the sushi rolls, like it's like in guacamole, like. You know,
Yes,
that's
but
a slutty food. But
avocado.
mozzarella kind of stays in its Italian lane, not to blow up your spot.
That's not true. Avocado is.
Tell me more about mozzarella being in Asian food.
Avocado doesn't last very long, and just because it doesn't go in Asian food doesn't mean it's strictly Italian.
It's not in Mexican food.
Mozzarella? Are you kidding me?
Mexican.
Who are you? The president of Mexican food over here? You're the magistrate of Mexicana? Mozzarella is the centerfold of most Mexican dishes. You never had nachos?
There's
You
no
never had...
mozzarella on that.
What? What cheese are you putting on your nachos? Are you putting provolone?
Mexican cheese.
What?
It's called Mexican cheese.
Okay, yeah, that's one kind, but you want to blend it. I'm sorry, I like to live in a world where
I don't think there's mozzarella.
Are you kidding me? You're so wrong right now. You came in my throat and you're wrong. Pick something to be wrong about, okay?
Okay.
There's mozzarella cheese in almost everything, and except maybe Asian, okay? And I'm sorry, and I'll do what I can. I'll call who I have to call. I'll call
Indian food?
Probably.
I don't think so.
Is there a lot of cheese in Indian food? Indian food is very driven by their spices, though.
Chickpeas.
I love chickpeas. I cook
makes me
chickpeas.
gassy.
Really? Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's the thing.
It's the general consensus.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
chickpeas.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
inflammatory is the term.
It's an inflammatory. Yeah, great for protein though. When I didn't
Yeah.
eat protein when I wasn't eating
when you're
vegetarian.
scarred by Food Inc.
Food Inc. Yeah, don't watch
Yeah.
Food Inc. When you're a couple joints in the middle of a two-piece.
Just don't watch it.
It'll ruin your whole day.
Just let the curtain stay between you and what you eat.
What do you watch? What do you watch when you go home to decompress? What do you do?
Are we done with the brand story?
Okay, but I just want to say you made me out to be very anti-Asian, and I'm not. Now Brian Kim is
No,
going to
we
be
know
the
you
next
get with
guest on this
everyone. It's
podcast.
okay. It's
I
okay.
get with every.
Mhm.
I mean, you'll be hard pressed to find anybody who won't come and defend mozzarella cheese and Napoli specifically. So I would say I'm Napoli mozzarella cheese, or I'm Windex.
Why Windex?
Because I'm there to
It's
wipe
glass.
away.
It's mostly for glass.
It's glass cleaner, and when you need to see things more clearly, you come
It's
to
not
me,
you.
and I'm the spray bottle and the liquid.
Okay.
The phone is the spray bottle, and I'm the cleaner. People come to me for analysis.
I wouldn't peg you as Windex, but okay.
I'm an analyst.
All right. Anyways,
What's yours?
my initial one was BMW because it's a sport
Wow,
luxury
someone has a
car.
high opinion of themselves.
Well, then I pivoted out of that, but for a while it was BMW, not the top line. I want you to know I don't think I was like a
Right.
M8.
Yeah.
I thought I was like a
Yours was
3
a real
series,
piece of shit.
2 series. Anyways, I do love cars. Actually, it's a thing about me. I love
So
them.
much that you bought one that was orange.
Yeah, I did that. It's not Jeep Wranglers aren't like, oh, I love cars. It's like I don't know what's happening in the world, and I'm gonna.
If there's anything that
this.
shows that you don't know a lot about cars, it's buying an orange Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No one buys that and goes, yeah, I bought this beauty after a lot of research.
I did.
I do love how attached you are to it, though. It's like looking at your own Batmobile.
Yeah, if you met the car, you'd feel.
I have to
differently.
meet the car.
You have to meet the car.
But every choice that you have and do in the things that are in your aesthetic fit very much into your aesthetic. Like Jeep Wrangler makes sense. White shoes makes sense. Celsius makes sense. All of it makes sense. You're just somebody who knows how to choose their palette. Or things come naturally to you. Sorry. Anyway, what was your brand?
Well, that's funny. That leads into my second brand. So then I pivoted out of
BMW.
BMW. I pivoted out of that because I was like, seemed like think I'm so special, and like, I think we all have to. Otherwise, we would kill ourselves. You know. So
we would kill ourselves if what?
If we didn't think we were special. Like it's like Chris D'Elia does a bit where he's like, "Oh, we all think we're so special," and it's like, no one gives a fuck. Like
you know why I don't kill myself? Because I'm worried it won't go all the way through. I'm worried that like if I try to hang myself, I'll get brain damage, and then I'll be a vegetable my whole life. And having to spend the rest of my life with people crying by my bedside is way worse than the depression I feel that makes me want to kill myself.
Well, if you really wanted to, you could use a gun. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like my grandfather and my uncle actually did that. So not to get serious. That is not a serious pivot.
This is one of my favorite topics to joke about. Are you kidding?
Yeah. So I feel like I can talk about it because I have it in the family.
Yeah.
So yeah, they shot themselves, and that's commitment. You know, like you're safe.
Well, they committed suicide. That's why they call it committed. You have to commit.
Thanks, Jerry. That's beautiful.
That's what
I love
happens.
that. Yeah. So there's a way, but. Anyways, back to not talking about suicide.
Like the suicidal Mandalorian. There is a way.
There is a way. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. From
yeah.
what I know about my family, you know.
Yeah.
From a family standpoint.
Given your family history, your medical history, you can learn a lot from it.
They knew how to go through with it.
They were men that knew how to commit.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, if you did, it's a good way.
Thank
But
you.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do that. But back to my second brand. So pivoted out of BMW because I thought that was a little bit to your point, like you think you're so cool. Then it was Nike because I do love sports. I do love everything they stand for culturally, and I know what I love most about Just Do It is not everyone knows the brand story name behind why it is Just Do It. But I feel like I've told you this, but the reason that the slogan is Just Do It is they actually took it from a guy on death row who's about to get murdered, and he had a bag over his head, and he said, "Just do it," and they killed him. And not everyone knows that about Nike, and I actually really like that story because it's really dark. But everyone takes it as this like inspirational, like, fuck it, like just do it, or like go after your dreams. And I actually like, as I'm not to like give myself this rah wind in my sails perspective,
Give
but
it to yourself.
I do feel like I do just kind of go for it. Like a lot of times I'm like, my life motto, and I know I've said this to you, is nothing matters. Nobody knows what they're doing, and we all are gonna die. Like it's a fact. Like we are gonna die. But instead of taking that as this like really dark perspective, it's like actually really enlightening, and like it gives you this freedom to kind of like live the life that you want to live. Because yeah, like we're on this planet for like 2 seconds and then we're gone. Like if you think of the whole earth and like how long we are here and like what impact
Joey Rinaldi, never Joseph. Always great chatting with my brother. Check us out on Cannoli Fans. You can see our Judge Jerry Springer clip, some other MobCon footage. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow the podcast. It's really good for my ego. Every single person that subscribes to the podcast, it's like a hug my father never gave me. Check out more episodes, and we're dropping with new ones every Wednesday. This outro was way longer than it had to be.
Truly.
And by the same metric, because of that, everything matters. Is how I've always felt about it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to argue against the point of nothing matters, we're all going to die. And that's what sort of led me into Buddhism and giving up.
It's very yin and yang
cocaine.
was my next point. Yeah.
Was just, well, because nothing matters, everything matters. And then nothing matters again. It's like it's like what we were talking about with I can't even remember what it was. We were talking about a dip earlier on something. But like that's how I feel. It's like nothing matters, everything matters. That's how I feel about sets a lot of the time. And really all you have is the time that's right here.
Right.
Is the time you have right now. I try not to think too much in the past or in the future. Just I think comedy teaches me a lot on how to live in the present and learn your lessons intuitively after that. And we were having a night the other night hanging out at the club, where we're just all of us. I think it's the first time since everything had opened back up again where a good chunk of us who were all working together got to just chill and hang.
Yeah.
While we were working, but still have a great time, and it was productive, and the show was going fine. But that was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, it's important to take stock in these things sometimes because of that, because nothing matters. And
if you take life too seriously, life's gonna suck. It's a fact.
And speaking of branding, what now that we're coming toward the end of this pod,
to wrap this up,
we've learned a few lessons along the way. Wait, what's your? Because I'm envious of you. You have a one name username on IG, right?
Torey Cole.
Yeah. No underscore.
That's it.
Torey
I don't
Cole.
have to use a zero.
At Torey Cole.
That's embarrassing.
Fuck you. I had to move away from Troy's Ebola. Troy's Ebola was my thriller.
Were you ever Troy Bond before Troy has Ebola?
No, because it's taken by some fucking shithead tattoo.
Well, because for a second I
thought since 2014.
I thought you were. I thought you had that, and then you pivoted out of it because I thought you were using it as a bit. Because I will say, I think it's really shameless to ask an audience to follow you on social media. I think it's kind of borderline embarrassing. I'll say that, but when you're able to put a spin on it and you do it really artfully, I'm giving you a kudos because it is funny. Yeah.
Should I just change it back
to Troy Haswell?
Yeah.
No, I just liked the way you were, because I've seen enough comics be like, oh, if you enjoyed the show, follow me on Instagram. It's pfft. But if you're it's Troy has Ebola, and everyone's kind of that's so funny. No, that's me, and then you get followers, but you get more followers from TikTok. But so it's your efforts of you standing on a stage to talking to 40 people or 100 people or whatever it is, versus you posting a funny video on TikTok. It's effort, whatever. There's a bell curve to it, but it's the way you were able to tell it seamlessly on stage was artful, and I think there's something to that. But at the same time, if you are having a hard time at a table read and they're oh, Troy Hasbula, that's hard as well. So I don't know, but the zero doesn't look you're better than a zero in your name. I'm just gonna say that.
All right, well, it might revert back now after I'm better than a zero. I'll take that.
You're better than a zero, but I understand wanting to have it be I actually am grateful that my name is available on Instagram. So I'm being privileged telling you this.
Yes.
This comes from a place of privilege, and that's why it means nothing.
That was the purpose of this whole show. All right, now I think we're ready to start recording. You ready?
Now that the bit fine is gone.
Torey Cole, ladies and gentlemen, Cole World. Thank you for listening to another episode of the podcast. Leave us a review. What are you doing over there? We need a review to get by, man. Leave us a review. Subscribe, follow, listen, whatever the hell you're doing. Make sure you remain one of us, one of these connected guys. Hey, shut the hell up over there. I'm recording an outro. I just had 2 cups of Cafe Bustelo, so sorry for the Robin Williams-ness. Follow the show so you don't miss an episode, and hopefully by next week I'll learn how to speak in a complete sentence.